What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Arjun, man. Back in the middle of another video. Today, it's something a little different. So I went on my IG and I asked all the ladies to ask a question basically about it's questions that like women are too afraid to ask guys, or like they want to know about guys. Basically, that's what I did. So yeah, I went on my IG. I put that. So I'm gonna drop some questions. Some of these questions are good. I'm not gonna cap. But yeah, so we finna get into it. If you're new, make sure like, comment, subscribe. And I'm not finna waste your time because I know the ladies probably want some answers. So I'm gonna just answer. Alright, so I'm gonna say these probably in my perspective, unless I know a bunch of guys have the same perspective on me in a certain situation. So most of these are just my perspective. Alright, cool. Alright, so first question is, what are things you do to let a woman know you are interested in her? Me personally, if I just my love language is quality time. So I mean, like, if I'm wanting to see you a lot, that should just let you know right there. Now, if I'm willing to see you just so much, that's something right there. I feel like obviously it's me texting you because once again, I don't be texting people like that for real, unless my homeboys or my bro and my sister. Other than that, I don't be texting nobody for real. So I mean, if I'm texting you, especially if I'm texting you every single day, yeah, you should know right then. You should know right then and there. But I mean, it's also just like the casual, like, I guess you could say like, I don't want to. I mean, you could say reassurance. Yeah, you could say it. So yeah, you could say reassurance. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, those are like what was that? Three ways I would say I do it. But yeah. The next question is, do y'all be committed to y'all situationships? Committed. In my sense, I'm gonna say, I don't know. I mean, I can see why you be committed, but at the same time, I don't see why you're committed. Cause you're gonna be at that state to where, like, say if they go out, it's like, dang, I can't be mad because she ain't my girl. But then at the same time, like, she is your girl, so like you're gonna be in one of them situations. I don't be committed. I mean, I'd be committed, but at a certain time, it's just like, bro, you just gotta let it go, and then boom, I'm not committed no more. But I could say they be committed, but at the same time, it's like, nah, they not committed. Is not being into sports a red flag for women? Nah, I wouldn't say that's a red flag for y'all. Just because I know some of y'all just aren't just interested in sports. I wouldn't say that's a red flag. Now, if you're the type of person that's like, I don't see why you watch that. I don't see. Now that's a red flag, because it's like, you don't even have to do all that. Just because you don't watch it don't mean you gotta project your. Yeah, so that is a red flag. But you just not watching sports in general, or like not being interested, I wouldn't say that's a red flag. It's like when you start projecting like, why are you watching this? Why are you watching football so much? Why you watch, like that? That's where it's the red flag. But yeah. This question is funny. Why do you hold your balls at the most random times? I don't even know how to answer this question. I'm not answering this question. This question TMI. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna just skip past that question. Tell me the top 5 red flags that I need to watch out for in a guy. 5. I'd say 5. I mean, I feel like I wouldn't say it's simple, cause 5. You got I feel like if like, you know how like you'll text like your person, right? And they won't text for a minute, but then they got a reason as to like, let's say like they're like, let's say they let you know beforehand. They're like, hey, I'm gonna be like at a family reunion, so I'm not gonna be texting like from like for like a certain amount of hours. Cool. They let you know that's why they're not texting. But just say like every day there's like always like a certain period of time they're not texting and they don't give you like a reason. I'll say that's a red flag. I just feel like, well, I mean, dang, that's four more I have to give. That was hard getting that one. I'm not gonna cap. Probably just like, I mean, y'all just know like when somebody's like arrogant, cocky, all that. I mean, that's obvious. So, I mean, you just gotta look for. I mean, everybody red flags ain't finna pop like off notice. Sometimes you're gonna have to get to know somebody, and then the red flags start popping. So, yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying on that one because I don't have five. I don't have five red flags to give y'all. So, yeah. Which question do I want to do next? Because these two are. I'm gonna do this one because this is one I always be hearing. Why do men have a hard time being emotionally vulnerable, even if you've opened up? So, why do men have a hard time, even though after the women done already been vulnerable? So, I mean, this is just based on how we were raised. I know for like a good amount of guys, when you were younger, what were you taught? Don't show emotions. Grown men don't cry. If you show emotions, you're what's the word I'm looking for? You're soft. You're a pushover. Blah blah blah. All that. And if that's embedded in your head since you was what 4, when you can start understanding stuff. If you started learning that when you was like 4, and then you get to the age of 20, that's 16 years you done heard that. And that's probably 16 years you just never opened up to anybody. You kept the bottle inside all the time. And you just never was like, oh, if I cry, I'm not a real man, so I'm not finna show my emotions. That's literally like how it goes. And then you get to the point to where it's like, I know in like relationship, it's kind of just like, I'm not saying this is like every girl, or this might not be every situation, but there's some situations to where a guy's like, okay, like I can really trust her, I'm gonna be vulnerable, but then something happens to where she projects what he was vulnerable about and then pushes back into him, and then it's a whole, she used his him being vulnerable, I guess, and like pushed it back into his face. So now it's like, I just told you like all that, and then you're just gonna like bash my feelings and all that. And then sometimes they don't want to feel like them saying their emotions is like a, what am I trying to say? Them trying to put their emotions as like a dang, I just forgot the word. But yeah, and then sometimes we don't know if like, if we told you like how would you feel about us? Like us being like vulnerable, like would you care, or like would you just be like, oh, you need to suck it up, like you're a guy, you're okay, you'll get through this? Or like would you actually be there for like listening and all that? So I mean that's kind of why it's hard. And plus, if you kept it inside, you've only yourself and God know like why, like only y'all two know your like true feelings about everything. So I mean, if you just had nobody to talk to, then it's kind of just like, why would I open up? This is how it is. If I never opened up to like my mom or my sister about my feelings, what makes you think I would just open up to like a girlfriend? If that makes sense. That's like kind of how it goes. So that's what I would say. But I mean, can a guy learn to like be emotionally vulnerable to his girlfriend? Yeah, he can. But I mean, there's some habits that when you're younger, they change over time. Some of them never change. That's probably one to where most guys, it will never change unless he find like the girl or whatever the case may be. But 9 times out of 10, that's probably one of them that's probably won't it's probably one of the habits they learn when they were little that won't change when they get older. So yeah, that's what I would say about that one. There's a lot of questions. I might end it with this one. This one's kind of short. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm gonna probably end it with this one. Why do men feel like they can do certain things but women can't? Why do men feel like they can do certain things when women can't? Dang, I should have. Certain things. I mean, there's just certain things that, like, you can say society labeled as like a man job, and society like labeled as like a women's job. I mean, if you look at it from that perspective, like a society thing, and how people label certain stuff, like, oh, that's what a man would do. Oh, that's what a woman would do. Like that. If you're saying it from like that standpoint, then that's just a society thing. But if you're talking about like what's the example I just literally had in my head? Damn. I just had the perfect situation in my head. Damn. Damn, I just had a perfect situation in my head. But you know, some guys, they just, you know how like they'll just think like, oh, men are better at everything, blah blah blah. Like, I know there's some people that think like that, and that's probably why they feel like they could just do certain things and women can't. But I know there's like certain things. I know, like, what's one of the things? Like, y'all know how like they'll be like, when a man, like, if a guy talks to a whole bunch of girls, it's like, hey bro, good job. But then if a girl talks to a whole bunch of guys, it's like she's a hoe and everything like that. I never understood that. So, I mean, there's just certain things. It's just like, I think society just plays a role into like how people look at stuff. Society and media. I feel like both of those are just two things that people just look into. And it's just like, that's like, I know there's a better way I can answer this question, but the example I had to answer this question, it went out my head as soon as I was finna say it. So my bad on this. I'm gonna do a part 2, and I'll start with this question first, just so I can like get back to it. But that's the end of this video. I'm most likely doing a part 2, so y'all can put y'all questions in the comments. Y'all can go to my IG and do them. But yeah, until then, RJ's out. I'll see y'all boys later.